Todd Archer, ESPN.com, NFL Nation covers the Dallas Cowboys, where they're getting ready to take on the New York Giants. But so much, Todd, off-the-field stuff surrounding really both these teams. Will Beckham play for the Giants, but more, we know Elliott will be there. But today is a big day. Any sense or feeling what today is going to end up like? I know you are waiting for this ruling as well, but is there any murmurs of what could happen down there for Elliott?
I think people are hopeful and positive that he might be able to get this TRO, but far be it for me to decide what a judge is going to do in a case like this. After the hearing that he had the other day, anybody who's saying they know it's going to happen is just going to be guessing. Like I said, the Cowboys fans, they hope he at least gets this restraining order so he can play this week and next week at the very least, and then maybe get into the injunction to where he could possibly play the whole season. But, if you look at the precedents and the history here, Tom Brady fought this about as far as you can go, and he ended up still serving his suspension. So I don't know if there's in the long term, if anything will really change in terms of not missing games after Harold Henderson upheld the suspension earlier in the week.
Right. We know Brady, though, played through the entire season. Is that really the hope and the anticipation, is that this maybe gets pushed off to 2018?
Well, I think that's their game plan. That's the same one that the NFLPA had, and now they're trying to win the case, clearly, and believe there's a fundamental fairness issue that the NFL is not following. But when it comes to their appeal process, but that's the best hope for the Cowboys now is he doesn't miss any games this year, and then see what happens come in the future after all of the court wranglings are settled.
Obviously, he's a big part of that offense, but is it the difference in being maybe a playoff team and a not playoff team? Is it that drastic of a loss if they end up losing Elliott for an extended period of time? Or having him back, does that make them go from maybe a borderline playoff team to a definitive playoff team?
I think it goes on to your belief of how important a running back is, right? I mean, for the Cowboys here, the last two of the last 3 years when they won the division, they had a running back that led the league in rushing. DeMarco Murray in 2014, and obviously Elliott last year with 1,631 yards. So clearly they believe the running back is important, but they also believe that if they don't have Elliott for a stretch this season or a stretch next season, they'll still be able to run the ball effectively enough with Darren McFadden, Alfred Morris, Rod Smith because of that offensive line. They can cure a lot of ills. I think what Elliott does is turn that 20-yard run into a 50-yard run, that 2-yard run into an 8-yard run. And he can make a excellent line look even that much better, and that's what they would miss without him. I still think, part of me, I wish I could sit here and tell you he's playing the season. If he plays the full season, I think the Cowboys are the team to beat in the division. If he's not playing a full season, I think the Cowboys can still compete with for the division, but it's a lot closer with everybody else because Elliott is that much of a difference maker.
Todd Archer, ESPN.com, NFL Nation. Any concern or worry from them that Prescott takes a step back or teams get more film? I mean, we saw down here in Philly, Foles was 27-2, and everybody thought, wow, they finally found a guy, and then people figured him out a little bit, and he wasn't so good. Any concern that Prescott is that type of guy that has one just great year out of nowhere and then takes that step back, or does he not have that kind of makeup?
Right, keep it in the division, too. You can go to RG3 down in Washington a few years ago as well. But from the Cowboys' perspective, we asked, Dak was asked, he's been asked thousands of times about a sophomore slump. And yesterday or Wednesday when he talked to us, he was asked, how many times have you heard a sophomore slump? And he's like, what is that anyway? I don't even know what you're talking about. So, but I think from the Cowboys' perspective, they look at the rest of their roster and say, they got this offensive line, they got these running backs, Elliott or the other three guys. They have Jason Witten, they have Cole Beasley, they have Dez Bryant. There's a lot of weapons on this offense that still help Dak Prescott be a very good quarterback, and it's not so much system-related to where I think those other two guys that we just talked about might have been about the system than about the people that are around him. So that, they have no fear in Prescott being a one-hit wonder at all. They think he's going to be a guy that has long-term success.